there, ref. That's he got the ball. Good morning, Tottenham fans. Rise and shine right across the world as Premier League football is back, which means Tottenham is back in competitive action as we take Ange Ball on the road and set the foxtrot at the King Power Stadium tonight at 8 p.m. as we take on Steve Cooper's Leicester. And we have new signings. We are eager to see what impact they can make on the team, which means Ange Postecoglou has some big decisions to make tonight. Who replaces the suspended Bissouma in midfield? Who plays on the right hand side tonight? And who does he start up front? New boy Dominic Solanke or old boy Richarlison? And whatever decisions he makes tonight will certainly come under the spotlight, win or lose. So let's get into it. The lineup that I think Ange Postecoglou is going to pick to bring home all 3 points tonight. As we go through this predicted lineup, please give me yours in the comment section below, along with the reasons why you've selected them, who you're expecting big campaigns from heading into this season. So let's get into it. Starting with the man between the sticks, and it will be the return of Guglielmo Vicario this season. Now, despite the 2 errors that have led to goals to Bayern Munich in both games during pre-season matches, which may raise some concerns maybe amongst some fans about his readiness for this season. However, Vicario was a reliable presence in goal last year, and I'm absolutely confident that he can maintain that level of performance this season. Additionally, with the new Premier League rule prohibiting players from using low blocks at set pieces to be able to impede others from reaching the ball, like we've seen with Vicario last season, it was an area of Vicario's game that was highlighted as a weakness last year, should now no longer be a concern if the referees and VAR do their job correctly this season. Moving on out to left back, and it will be Destiny Udogie making his return. Now, of course, he has missed most of pre-season due to injury, but we have absolutely no choice but to start him here tonight, even if he is not fully fit, because the club did not bring in another left back this transfer window. However, I'm very eager to see Destiny Udogie back in action, locking down that left hand side like he did most of last season, dominating some of the Premier League's best wingers that they have to offer, while also making them bombarding runs forward. It's absolutely great to have Destiny Udogie back, and he was badly missed on that run in towards the back end of last season after his injury. Should Ange Postecoglou decide that Udogie is not fit enough here, one thing you might expect to see is maybe Dragusin come in with Van de Ven moved out to left back, or Jedi Spectacular taking up that position. Moving on out to right back, and it is Postman Porro set to deliver UK-wide this season, as I'm expecting a massive season for Pedro Porro this season. Really excited to see him in action after his standout performances right across the pre-season, where he consistently posed a goal threat from right back. And with Dominic Solanke now up front, having a guy in the box to be able to aim at, I do think we'll see even more of Porro's passing range, but also a lot more of his crossing ability this season. And for me, I think we could very well see a breakout campaign from Pedro Porro, where he earns worldwide recognition. Moving into centre-back, 2 of my favourite players in this team, and we will start on the right-hand side, and of course, it is the return of Christian Romero. Of course, returning now with a Copa America medal round his neck to add to that World Cup medal. But oh boy, I've really missed having Rambam around. A physical powerhouse who is a rare breed in today's game, especially with how soft modern football has become. His no-nonsense defending was a huge miss during pre-season, and I'm absolutely eager to see him bring that intimidation factor to all the new signings that other clubs have made in the Premier League across that forward line. If they don't know who Romero is now, they will once they've come up against him. And every great team has a tough character at its core, and I want people to get off Romero's case this season about being that guy, because we really need one, and Romero is that player for us. One area of improvement I would like to see from Romero this season is to become more of a vocal leader right across that back line, taking personal responsibility for Pedro Porro, Mickey Van de Ven and Destiny Udogie. We need someone who's going to constantly communicate, direct others around the pitch, and in return that should ensure more defensive solidity. Romero is the perfect candidate for this because his presence alone demands respect and attention, and if you don't have that for him, you will listen to him because you will be shit scared of him. At left-sided centre-back, it is the return of Mickey Ice Cold Van de Veens, aka Flash, returning from the Olympics with his gold medal for the 200-metre sprint. I'm absolutely excited to see Mickey Van de Ven back in action. His recovery pace was sorely missed during pre-season, and it's absolutely crucial for Postecoglou's system to work as he effectively covers any defensive gaps that is left by anybody else. In fact, Van de Ven is so impressive that players don't even bother challenge him in a foot race anymore. I've seen players last season see it's Van de Ven and go, I'm not even going to bother here. Combine that with how good he is on the ball, I feel like we have a really top centre back on our hands, and also combined with some of the goals he scored for us last season. But one area of improvement I would like to see from Van de Ven is becoming more of a commanding presence in the air. I feel like that's one area he lets himself down. With the size and strength, he's a big, strong, strapping lad. I think if he can add this to his game, we could have another world-class centre-back on our hands. And one I think the whole world will be after. Moving into the CDM role, and who is going to replace Yves Bissouma? That is the big question. However, I will go with Rodrigo Bentancur here, despite many people think it could be Archie Gray. Now, I know Postecoglou did mention in his pre-match press conference that Gray is in contention to start, but I do have a hunch that Postecoglou will opt for the experience and start Rodrigo Bentancur. I'm really expecting a massive season from Bentancur, especially now that he seems to be over a lot of his injury problems. And if we can get him back to his pre-injury form, I believe Bentancur could be a game changer for Tottenham this season, especially in terms of that midfield. If we can get that Bentancur back, he could play an absolutely key role in our pursuit of trophies this season. Moving into the number 8 role in this midfield, the box-to-box role, and I do think Postecoglou will place more faith in Papa Mata Sarr. Sarr will be in the lineup purely to disrupt play, get pressure up behind that front three when they get the pressure on, and look to turn ball over higher up the field. And I feel like Sarr is a key component to Postecoglou's midfield. I'll be quite surprised if Papa Mata Sarr doesn't start here tonight for that reason, because I feel like when he's not in that midfield, and even times when he is in that midfield, sometimes we lack that competitive edge in there, and I do feel like Papa Mata Sarr, out of anybody, brings that to this team. However, there could be a possibility that Postecoglou might go even braver tonight, even more attacking, and bring in another number 10 and play 2 number 10s in that midfield, given that Steve Cooper does instruct his players to sit back, keep it nice and compact in the area and around the area to not really give away too many chances. So some would argue you might not need Papa Mata Sarr here tonight, especially with Leicester having no strikers, that you would be better off bringing in number 10. However, I do think we will see Papa Mata Sarr in the midfield tonight. And then moving on to the number 10 role, and I know there's been a lot of talk, especially myself as well, that we would prefer to see Maddison dropped and Bergwall to come in. However, with James Maddison making his return to the King Power Stadium tonight for the first time since he's joined Tottenham Hotspur, I think for that reason alone, he will be given a nod by Ange Postecoglou. Now, of course, Maddison was brought into this team for his vision and his creativity, but for me and many Spurs fans out there, he really needs to show a hell of a lot more than he did last season and over the course of pre-season this season. When you look at Bergwall, he's had much more of an impact, especially going forward, but also adding to the press than what James Maddison has. So I do think it's absolutely crucial for James Maddison to start delivering tonight, especially with the emergence of Lucas Bergwall, who's just waiting in the wings, waiting to take that position, who I feel like will be introduced off the bench tonight. And if Maddison doesn't produce by around 55-60 minutes, I wouldn't be surprised to see him hauled off and Bergwall come in. And then moving into the front line, which was a real problem for Tottenham Hotspur last season, we have made additions. It'd be very interesting to see whether they resolve our problem or not, but we will start out on the left-hand side, and it will be Son captaining the team off that left flank and returning to what I've always maintained is Son's best position. And I'm glad that Postecoglou said it over the course of pre-season and agrees with what I've been saying. And I absolutely cannot wait to see Son cutting inside again off that left-hand side, using his pace to devastating effect, creating that half a yard and bending shots into that top corner like we've seen consistently throughout his career at Tottenham Hotspur. But not only that, he'll also provide a lot more chances for others off that side as well. And for me, I think Son is the player that all of our hopes really rest on to be able to carry us towards trophies. He's our most consistent player in that forward line. He's our only world-class player in that forward line. So we really need a consistent campaign from Son, from start to finish. And with him being captain, we're relying on him, so let's go, Sonny. Moving on out to the right-hand side, and it's been a huge problem for Tottenham last season and over the course of pre-season, and Postecoglou has a massive decision to make here tonight. Does he retain his faith in Brennan Johnson, or does he go with Dejan Kulusevski? However, I have gone with Dejan Kulusevski here because I think you have to start Kulusevski after his blistering performances in pre-season. It doesn't matter what position you played him in, whether it's been Cam, whether it's been as a striker. He has absolutely delivered consistently over the course of pre-season, and I feel like you will stunt that or maybe piss him off if you do not start him. And I think if we're talking about a meritocracy here, based off performances alone, he deserves to be shoehorned back into this team. But with all of our options available, Dominic Solanke, Maddison, absolutely everybody back, Bentancur, Sarr, I do believe that we will see Kulusevski back out on the right hand side. And I know many people have their concerns because he was also a problem down that side the last 2 years, hasn't really produced an awful lot. However, I do think he has missed someone like Harry Kane being up there, and with Dominic Solanke back up there, I think you'll see a lot more output down that right hand side from Dejan Kulusevski. And I do expect Kulusevski to have a real breakout campaign. I think the last 2 years, like I mentioned, I think his performances have dropped off from where they were at when we first brought him in here, but we have had problems in that forward line. The dynamics haven't been quite right. I'm hoping we've resolved that this season and that Kulusevski will once again shine down that right hand side, which ultimately means Brennan Johnson will probably drop to the bench tonight. And then moving on to the position that always grabs all the headlines if they score goals. And who does Postecoglou go with tonight? Does he go with someone like Richarlison, or does he go with Dominic Solanke? Could even go with Kulusevski tonight. However, I do think we'll see Dominic Solanke lead the line and make his debut tonight. And Solanke brings that physical presence up front, something we have lacked for much of last season. His presence in the box will be absolutely crucial to converting the chances that will be created by the attacking trio behind him in Son, Kulusevski and Maddison. And I do hope that Dominic Solanke can bag a couple of goals, lead this team across the season, especially tonight, get us off to a good start and alleviate some of my concerns around Dominic Solanke. And I do think it will be Solanke as well, because Postecoglou did mention that Richarlison does need match minutes after his long injury layoff, which probably suggests he's nowhere near sharp enough or fit enough to start this game. So Big Dom, let's have a big game tonight and alleviate fans like me who maybe have their doubts or concerns about you being able to make the step up. So guys, that's my predicted lineup. Like I said earlier on in the video, please give me yours in the comment section below, along with selections that you have made. If you disagree with some of my selections, feel free to put it in there and let me know. I am open-minded. At the end of the day, this is just my opinion. And lastly, guys, we started last season's Premier League campaign and life under Ange Postecoglou with a 2-2 draw away at Brentford. Can we get off to a better start tonight? I bloody hope so. Guys, the possibilities, the dreams, the hopes, they're all live again. They're all reignited. Let's see what Tottenham Hotspur can do this season. Let's see if we can get off to a winning start. Come on, you Spurs. We are bloody back, baby. In the big hands we trust. We never stop.